morning, good evening, or good jet lag? Oh, so nice, Arnav. Yeah. Sure. You don't want this plastic next time, okay? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's been great pleasure to come and address you. And firstly, I need to extend my thanks to Raju Chapli Garu. He's been persistent and relentless that I come and visit Indian community in many parts of America. So he has put a lot of hard work to make these things happen. So not only me, you all also should be thankful to Rajan Chapli and others. That my MD doctor saying that, oh yeah, this is good, and he gives some certificate that it happened. No, that's not what I'm looking for, and that's what many people are thinking. That it should, like, a fellow should certify that this is right. And this is not a diet plan or something that would get you from point A to point B. That's not what we are trying to do here. We are trying to actually define for the human race, not just Indians, human race itself. Because personally, this looks audacious and a very aggressive on my part to say this, but that's what I'm trying to attempt, if not achieve, at least attempt. And till now, no human being has done that, and I don't mind doing it. And so that's where I'm coming from for all of you. I'm trying to define what food is for human race because it has not yet done that till now. So that's my point. So I'm not trying to tell you, you eat this, you get it. All that is left to you. It's all, I'm trying to define, and in doing so, I'm trying to do some experiments and prove to people and use your brains and understand the logic through which we are going through. So that is the angle through which I have been working for. So it so happens I cure diabetes. It so happens I cure cancer. It so happens I cure HIV. It so happens I cure muscular dystrophy. You know what muscular dystrophy is? Yeah, it is the coordination of nerves to the muscles. If that particular aspect gets lost, the muscles start degenerating and then you cannot function. It can happen to the muscles of heart, muscles of the legs, muscles of the eye, wherever it is possible. So, and it is supposed to be a genetic disorder because the nerves to be becoming dysfunctional and then the tendons, ligaments and all this going out of whack. So once it is there, and some people get it at the age of 6, some people at the age of 10, some people at the age of 12. When what triggers, no one knows. All that is in dark for the so-called medical world. So once you are muscular dystrophy, gone case. It's a matter of time. So what actually happens, if it happens to the muscles of the heart, then your heart stops beating slowly and steadily. If your heartbeat is 72, if this is initiated in the brain, you will have 60 after maybe 6 months. And then another 6 months it becomes 50, then 40, and then stops. You can do nothing about it. So there was one case, heartbeat from, he's now 45 or something like that. In the last 10 years, his heart rate came to 40, 41 or something like that, slowly decreasing. So you cannot do anything with that. So such patients, after having gone through the Millet protocol, what I call protocol, because people ask me, what do I do? I have this disease, what do I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that. So why confusion? I just write a table. diabetes people follow this, so that no more questions. This. My uterus is, you're right, follow this. A hormone imbalance, follow this. So we identified the present day so-called diseases or discomfort or whatever names, and then put a table of almost 60 kinds of things, which is available in the booklet form and PDF. You can all download. It's free. We didn't want to make a patent and then start. It's till now and then I keep commenting. It's stupidity to sell your intelligence. And that's what we are doing. In Telugu we call buddhimanyam. Buddhimanyam. Buddhitanani ammukune buddhimanyam vachindi manavniki. So we are trying to sell intelligence and become stupid, actually. And that is the connection. And the nerve cells. Many people have kids born attention deficit, hyperactive disease, autism, differently abled. All these kinds of diseases are rampant nowadays, especially in America. This is increasing. Of course, in America, first things happen and then they're all exported to different places. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and all these things. But we need to find solutions. No, actually there is no solution for each disease. There is a permanent shift that has to happen in our mind, that we are eating wrong things and hence we have these diseases. So many people think that I am actually curing diabetes, curing this, curing that. I mean, thousands of people have got healed themselves. I mean, many people have not seen me, I have not known them at all, not met them, but thousands are healing themselves, just following the simple principles that we have been proposing and making available on the net, free for everyone. And they are very simple things. It is just that we have complicated our lives in the name of science, in the name of development, in the name of progress, in the name of education, in the name of whatever you have. So we need to simplify our lives as far as food is concerned, because we have not defined food till now. So what happens in the tummy when you eat something till it comes out as shit? It takes 7 to 8 hours. But we want to reduce that also. And that is the problem. So while doing that, we have screwed up the cooking methods and doing things for our convenience. But there is no convenience here, from here to here. It has to happen the way it is designed. And we are trying to change that also. And that is the problem. Well, we cannot change this. That point people are not connecting. All these doctors, all these scientists, they are all doing science and research and all because they have forgotten this. So that is the problem. So what is here, you need to figure out. What is the food for this particular track? So whatever happens, you are dumping in, and that's where the problems began. And slowly over a period of time, all things have complicated the issues, and then we have so many diseases, and we think we need to find medicines for that. But the basic problem is, here you have screwed up. You have screwed up your kitchen, you have screwed up your food, and then what are you doing? You are going building multi-specialty hospitals and looking for solutions there. How do you find the solution there? You will only get tablets. If not tablets, they have scissor and knife, come, we'll do operation, remove things. Nowadays there's one more step ahead, we'll print 3D, put your nose, put your kidney, put your buy one, get one free, all these market-based systems are being offered, which is absolute nonsense, according to me, because logically speaking, you do something wrong here and then try to fix somewhere else. It's absolute bogus things that is the human race is trying to chase. So if you have lost your pin in the kitchen, you better search in the kitchen, not on the road. So we have lost health in the kitchen, so you better go back to kitchen. So the health is in the kitchen, not in the hospitals. But then we are trying to have your Uber Eats here. In India it is Swiggy, Swaggy, Zomato. They don't know where they are cooking, what are cooking, who is cooking, but we are eating. So this is the problem for us. And you are thinking diabetes is the problem, muscular dystrophy is the problem, all this. No, not at all. So you need to fix your kitchen if you want to be healthy. That muscular dystrophy person, 40 heartbeat, he started eating. Now all the doctors are shocked. How is it possible? He's swimming for 5 kilometers non-stop. He's walking 10 kilometers non-stop. In fact, many people who are supposed to be normal are not able to walk along with him. Just happened, the transformation happened in 8 months of following these decoctions and these 5 millets. So 15 years back when I said diabetes is curable, people on the road used to call me a mad fellow. In India. Doctor said he is bunkam. But now I have more than 10,000 doctors who have healed themselves eating, all MD/MS doctors. And more than 200 trained in America. So what we are talking is basic shift of the knowledge and information as regards to food. Food has to be digested by our system in its true sense. And if you supply something else, it does something else. So we have been supplying in the last 40-50 years so-called rice, wheat, sugar and eggs and meat, which is actually industrially synthesized food. I call it industrial food culture. There's nothing natural about what you're eating. We are designed by the designer, whoever that is. You can call a God or Allah or Ishvara or whatever beliefs you give. We can never know who did this, basically. We have given names, so that particular design you need to accept. There is no choice for us. Am I right? So we work with that to start with. And you have to end with that only. And that is the problem with all of us. We are not doing that. So the design of it is that you have to release glucose into your blood system slowly and steadily, because if you flood your blood with high amounts of glucose, then these so-called endocrine glands do things that are not meant to be done, and they want to manage the emergency situation of high concentration of glucose, blood glucose, and then they forget their regular business of maintaining health and things like that. And that's why the whole human race is entering into a state of diseased condition. Then people think go to gym and then you become fit. The 6-pack, 10-pack, 12 packs. Then some the protein is good. Go on eating protein. Then you load your body with protein, your kidneys are going kaput, and you have dialysis units increasing. No problem. So all this wrong information in the name of science, in the name of progress. So you don't go to gym and become fit. They are giving you basically some whey protein, this protein, that, but it's actually basically drugs that are being given. These are all business models. Then you have fitness instruments, walking machines, this machine, that machine. You have to walk, means you have to walk. You don't need machine to walk. So we are all shifting our mind into something else. But the basic thing is here, your body. That is to be set right, not all this. So very simply put, we have introduced artificiality into our lives. So including the food has become artificial in the last 30-40 years, more so in the last 20 years. According to me, the journey began 70 years ago, 70, 80 years, when we spoiled the milk. We started giving kids the milk in large quantities. The mothers have to give milk, but then cows started giving milk to the babies. Babies have to be fed by their mother's milk, not cow's milk. Cows give milk to feed their babies, not your babies. And that's the problem. But then the science and the so-called scientists define milk is complete food. Without milk there is no calcium. So people started drinking liters of milk, but then calcium tablets also, business went around billions of dollars. So this doesn't, 1 plus 1 doesn't become 2 here. They say drinking milk is good for calcium, but then people went on drinking more and more milk. Why milk? We eat paneer, concentrate the milk and eat now in kilos. Still people are not having problem of calcium salt. So all this is not right, very simple. But then we do not still, when I said don't drink milk, how is it calcium? Everyone asks me the same question. Is an MD/MS doctor or a girl who sweeps the home and makes her living? Even she asked me the same question.
Can you pause for a second?
Yes.
Because we're not getting the sound, they're fixing it.
Oh,
The last room will also fix it.
no problem, absolutely. Screwing up with milk, then it slowly happens. It's not the calcium, the problem is giving this artificial milk. I mean artificial, if it is not mother's milk, whatever milk you give it is artificial for the baby. Many people have in India, there is a problem. Oh, Jersey cow, HF cow, American, all that is different. But we have cows which are desi, naughty, it's very good. For me, it's all artificial because your baby should get your mother's milk, not any other milk. So all is artificial. And the hormones and the triggers and all the other nutritional values that are to be there in your mother's milk is different from the cow's that milk is. So you are feeding something not required for your baby, and that is many hormones that are different. So what happened actually, the whole human race became hormonally imbalanced in the last 50 years. So what are hormones? Hormones are small quantity chemicals or some proteins or different kinds which control a lot of biochemical reactions in our body to be healthy. So first thing that you want to do is screw up that in the name of milk. And then you go on telling this is, that this is, and then try to find so many other things, but never talk about milk. So how can you set this problem? Right? Unless you stop giving the milk for the babies, they will never have their health. Based on this, we have done the last 20 years after I went back. Now there are thousands of families who have not given milk to their babies. They have never visited doctor even once in the last 12, 15 years. Don't we call that as health? Don't we call that as health?
Yes, yeah, that is.
But then what are we doing? We are going on building multi-specialty hospitals in each and every corner of every city and town all over the world. What does that indicate? That we are increasing the number of patients every 6 months once. Am I right? So what should have been our goal? To build a society where there is no need for hospital, if only we had done something scientific in the realm of health. Am I right? So now if someone comes to me, I should make, if I am a good doctor or a doctor, if not good doctor, see that the patient who comes to me doesn't go to any doctor anymore. I mean, he doesn't need the services of doctor anymore. Which I have done from thousands of families who come to me. They don't come to me again after 5, 6 months. And that should be the goal of a doctor. Not only to me, to any doctor. the babies are getting sick, 2 years, 3 years old, 4 years old, 50 years, then you go to the doctor, then they give you something. And the baby falls sick again after 3 months, again 3 months. What are they doing? They are giving antibiotics. Not 1, 2, 3, series of antibiotics. Antibiotics, somewhere someone had fall in the war zone and some fellow discovered something called penicillin, then they healed fast, and then that was the time and scene. But then for everyone and everything we are giving antibiotics. So milk screwed up something, and then we started feeding our babies antibiotics. What is the antibiotics are given, not fed, but we are feeding them so much so that there is another component of our gut called gut microbes. If you have one cell in your body, there are more than 1,000 cells in our body by gut microbes. And it is the combination, and it is the symbiotic living of these microbes and us actually perform the digestive tract. That means if you want to be healthy, next component that you want to maintain in your system is the microbial gut microbes, or microbiome they call. So what did we do? In fact, we also screwed up even before you are born. When you are coming through the vagina, the baby, you are actually, the throat fills the tummy. Microbes, where do they come from? Mother gives that also when you are born. But nowadays we are least bothered about natural births. We want convenience. Hey, cut that and get it out. Even the mothers say, I don't want to go through this labor and all that nonsense. Just cut it out and bring it out. So even before giving milk, mother gives gut microbes by giving birth. Well, we don't want to do that also. So let's cut it out. So what did you do to your baby? You have not given the... Okay, you are not given, and the doctor said, why she is not given, so I will keep the remaining things. Gone case. So you are balanced hormonally. Even before you are balanced hormonally, your balanced microbial balance is also lost. You are understanding the problem? All in the name of science, huh? All in the name of high-tech hospitals, huh? Why am I telling these two sentences again and again? Because many people, what is your reference? Because they all be scientists, huh? What is my reference? When you forget the real thing and ask me reference. So if you want a reference, you have to give birth to the baby naturally, first thing. Reference is that. So you have lost microbes. And then everyone says, I have gastric problems, or gas, like that, up and down. There are no microbes in your tummy. So you want to get rid of, people are not able to shit properly in the morning, so keep taking this and that and that. In fact, the other day one patient, cancer patient, they removed some, cut the intestine and put it across, and then the shit is not coming out. Don't worry. Whenever you want, you come. Then they have 18,000 rupees treatment, to just remove the shit from his body. BC water, this hot water pump, and we have designed specially like this, without all kinds of things are. So there is no fiber, there are no microbes in his system because they are killed through chemotherapy, radiotherapy, antibiotics, this, that, and See, why I'm telling you, are killing all that is required in the body, in the name of science, in the name of doctors, in the name of hospitals. And then you want your kid to be healthy. How is it going to happen? And you have library after library running around and checking all these things. But this point that I have talked now in the 3 minutes, has anyone spoken to you? And this is the base. If you don't cover the bases, I think you all know baseball. You see the game, no? You have to cover the bases. If you don't cover even one base, you are not going to have good game. Am I right? So the first base itself is not there. What do you do then? You have to cover it. Cover means you have to have microbes. And that's when we said, drink ambali. Ambali is what? Fermented porridge. So make your grain soak in the night, cook in the morning in a slow flame, if possible in a mud pot. Then, but what are we doing? Microwave, pressure cookers, it's all high tech. So you've gone wrong here in the food, and then the methods all one haywire. We want to use machinery that is used in war and then in Mangalagram and all that. How stupid can we get? How stupid can we get? We are all stupid now, am I right? So just cook it naturally in the open. See, there is a concept in physics, standard temperature and pressure. That is being natural. We screw up that also. We want to cook in pressure cooker, put it in the microwave and do this, do that. So the food is not right, and the way you make the food process is worse than what it should have been. So how do you expect when you cook in microwave, when you do this, and when you have cesarean birth, so all is gone completely out of whack, are we not? These are the fundamental things that we should have covered. The bases are not covered. And then you say, oh, I have ADHD kid born, oh my God, what? Oh, there is some gene here, there is something gone there. Basic thing is not there, then how do you expect all this? And now they are calling syndromes. They don't understand things, we call it syndrome. If you are intelligent, do not wise. If you are intelligent, you should follow these minimum things. We do not want to do that. So as and when these things happen, you are bound to be sick. And that's why you keep building hospitals. You think that's where you're going to be healthy. They're going to send you tablets, they're going to do operations, they're going to fix you with all these unnatural things into your body. Be it 3D printed kidney or 3D printed knees, all that they're talking about. See how far we have gone in the name of science. But actually it's not science, it's technology, it is making money. So if you fill your tummies with ambali, the microbial gut microbe that you have lost, 90% of the chemicals that your body requires are actually made by these microbes. One simple example, which is commonly aware, it is a big talk nowadays, is vitamin B12. Oh, you don't have vitamin B12. Because only recently, in the last 2 years back, these pharmaceutical companies have managed to make the B12 synthetically so that they can sell. Until then, no one talked about B12. B12, they claim it is in the meat, so you have to eat meat. All the people have to eat meat. People are all been eating only meat. The last 20 years, all over the world, people are eating only meat. 98% people are meat eaters, including India. India was actually a vegetarian country for a long time, but then now they are all shifting to meat eaters because these guys are telling meat is good, protein is good, this is good, that is good. So all are okay, let's eat. So you've eaten meat morning to evening, egg in the morning, burger in the night, this, that, all that, pizzas. Well, what happened? B12, why is it not coming? Because that B12 in the meat is actually something gone. B12, absorbable B12 is made by microbes, not by meat. So you have to have microbes. So even if you are eating meat, there is B12 in the meat, but that meat that you have eaten, when you are absorbing, it's not giving it up. It won't give up. You cannot take it. Your body cannot absorb. So you want a vitamin B12? Ambali, fermented porridge. Different kinds of grains, different fermentation, different kinds of microbes. You fill your tummy. So, in fact, we have cured hundreds of cancer patients who are fourth stage, dying, dead, almost like that. Patients come. We start them, take for 6 to 9 weeks microbes. Unless you feel this connection to the nature that we have lost in our so-called modern day living conditions, you will never be healthy. Never be healthy. So even if you eat millets once a week or twice a week, please get back to fermented porridge. So how do you make it? Very simple. Cook in the morning, which is soaked in the night. Because these grains, these 5 grains have wonderful balanced fiber to carbohydrate ratio, which actually is, if you divide, it comes to single digit, like foxtail millet, kodo millet, brown top millet, little millet, barnyard millet. It's all in single digits, 5 to 8 or something. Whereas other grains, including ragi, the finger millet, the great millet, proso millet, all these have got beyond 20 when you divide the carbohydrate by fiber ratio. And that's why they release glucose not slowly and steadily, in a flood. Including ragi, including rice, including wheat, including corn, they all release glucose very fast into your blood because the fiber to carbohydrate ratio is very high. For rice it is 390 or something. For wheat it is 70 or something. For brown top millet it is 5.5 or something. That's the difference. So another imbalance now, I have talked about 2 imbalances. One is hormone imbalance, another is microbial imbalance. The next that we have created imbalance is glucose imbalance. Actually, it is the next layer. So how have we screwed up our health? In these 3 balances. The balance has to be found, which we have screwed up in the name of science, progress, technology, and whatever names you want to call it. So how can you get back to health unless you fulfill these balances? So this was the thought process that I went through back when I first came to Beaverton, Oregon. I saw in 1986 or 87, I don't remember now. But if I were to eat my little millet properly, I would not have had this problem. It is 87. Okay, today morning I ate actually little millet. What is his name? Murali? Murali gave me little millet. That's how it is working. Little millet corrects hormonal imbalance. And brown top millet corrects microbial imbalance. So you have problems in your tummy. It is the kodo millet, which you make a porridge and then ferment and drink for 3 to 4 weeks. Lo and behold, you start getting the jump start. Then it's good for you to follow it up with a little millet porridge, fermented, and then with kodo, then. Because these wonderful grains have got their fiber cut out for our work. It's not only that they release glucose slowly and steadily, the nature of the fiber of each of these grains is so wonderful that all these 5 grains, soluble and insoluble fibers, does the job of cleaning the metabolic waste of day-to-day living conditions. So health is not just supplying glucose, supplying microbes, supplying the hormone balance. To clean up, say imagine we all throw everything here and go, it's dirty. So you cannot live there. I mean, it has to be clean. That means you have to clean your body on a regular basis. We cannot have janitors come and do that. I think you have to have things designed. And that design by God is to have this wonderful fiber. In fact, up to 30 to 40 grams of this fiber has to be supplied, at least if not daily. An average, over a period of week, at least you should have minimum of 20 to 30 grams of digestive fiber. Oh, I will eat my vegetables, I will eat my fruits, I will eat this, I will eat that. Many people think you get fiber from this. And this is the problem with this Western nutritionists. How much vegetables do you want to eat if you want to fulfill this? 18 kilos. Because fruits and vegetables have 95 to 98% water. You understand what I'm speaking? So many people, I will eat fruits and then be alright. I will eat vegetables, I should be healthy. No, you will not be. So it is the grains of particular Poaceae family which are designed for world. They have been the ancient grains all over the world. All the human race have been eating this, including Jesus Christ ate unleavened bread of brown top millet. Guru Nanak Singh describes in his ancient text, Kodro Chawal. Varahaswami, when he is supposed to have gotten the earth mother out of some Rakshasa's hands, he is supposed to have been pleased with Priyangu Payasam. Priyangu is foxtail millet. And your Venkateshwara Swami, most of the people go to Tirupati, we use money and we bribe him. And he is supposed to have been healed. On his head there is an injury and pus formation, little millet. So there are a lot of texts mentioning about the grains that I have. So that's what happened back in 1987. I said there is a lot of imbalances because that's when first I met a girl of 6 years menstruating in America. I said, oh, what on earth has happened? And this is shocking for me. The ladies are supposed to menstruate at the age of 14, 15, but then we have shifted to 6 years. So these guys are something basically screwed up with their system. And by then, dairies didn't want to work didn't want to feed their babies in America by then itself. These guys have a good technique of exporting their systems. They exported the cows, they exported the milk, they exported everything, steroids. And now the whole world is, women are menstruating below 10. I mean, I cannot call women, but they're small girls. Recently, just 2 weeks back, I had a case, a 3-year-old girl is menstruating. 3-year-old, I mean, it's ridiculous. And then they take her to the doctor, they give her some more steroids. 3 weeks, the bleeding stops. Once the steroid tablet is gone, another 3 weeks, again she's bleeding. So they did like that some 6-7 times, and that girl taking the steroids, 3 years old baby became 30 kilos. Because she wants to keep eating something or the other. So now the problem is for her to stop eating. So they got the baby to me, sir, this girl goes on eating, and they didn't tell me that she's menstruating and they have fed this. So in homeopathy we have a different system of, I keep asking patients, what is this, what is that? When are you born? What is your mother doing? What do you eat? We want to know all things in homeopathy. We take called some case taking. Then they didn't even recognize. The parents didn't tell me. They were only after I asked the questions we figured out that she was weak. And she not only stopped bleeding, she started eating and not functioning properly. In the sense she becomes angry, takes a knife and then wants to. The baby, 3-year-old baby, wants to take a knife and keep poking her mother in the night. mentally, and now you call that attention deficit syndrome. Then they already started, it all happened in a matter of 3 months. Huh? They took her to another expert. This is a mental doctor. You go to mental doctors, so-called Nimhans in Bangalore. Everyone is piped into that place. And those guys gave some tranquilizers, sedatives. So one kind steroids, one kind that, one side this, and this. She's gone case. And these are all scientists, these are big doctors, MD, MS doctors. America trained, England trained, all these guys exist in Nimhans. They couldn't do anything with that baby. So they came and I said, oh God, this is the way real screw up. So I told them, just go to that people tree, make her sit for 3 hours. I gave her people tree kashayam and little millet. Lo and behold, 3 weeks, the baby became all right, completely. She started sleeping in the night, mother slept well, she didn't, and then, now it's been 7 months or so, she didn't get her bleeding or anything. Now, she's perfectly all right to the extent that she has no problem whatsoever, even whatever little problem she had before. So we made her drink ambali of same little millet for 3 weeks, that hormone imbalance. So people leaf and neem leaf, and then there's one wonderful creeper called gilai, called Tinospora cordifolia. Gilai, it's called gilai. There's wonderful leaves that kashayams. So like this, the so-called, I use the word so-called because we are all made to believe that this is science. Because whatever is done in this Western is scientific. Because they publish, put some name and some journal publishes, it becomes science. And many people, what is scientific proof you have? I'm not able to publish anywhere because no one wants to publish. I'm the reference. They want reference. So I'm the reference. I'm the first fellow. Who will have I reference to? I'll have no reference, isn't it? So whatever college is not scientific. Because it's not published, he has no reference. It will be like that only. But then we have hundreds and thousands of these cases, not 1, 2, 3. I'm only explaining 1 or 2 cases. Be it diabetes, be it gangrene patients, be it mentally retarded patients, so-called differently abled, autistic. You have worst cases. This girl is poking her. There are people who really want to kill each other. They are tied with handcuffs. Even such cases have been healed. So people taking 50 units of insulin, type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, type 3 diabetes, now they have type 4 also. Type 1 is juvenile diabetes, younger boys, girls getting into glucose imbalance. Type 2 is all fellows, Tom, Dick and Harry is getting. Type 3 is women, when they are pregnant, hormone imbalance, screwing up, that is type 3. And nowadays there's one more, steroid-induced diabetes. So because people are taking too many steroids for everything and anything, they are getting diabetes. So now there are 4 kinds of diabetes. Everything is diabetes, everything is glucose imbalance. All things can be corrected if you only go back to the food that releases glucose slowly and steadily into your bloodstream. Very simple. So I'm type 1, I'm type 2, I'm type 3. All this settle down. Everything is simple. Just eat these 5 grains. Slowly and steadily your systems get corrected. And I'm sure everyone has got this microbial imbalance. So I make it a point to everyone, at least once a week or twice a week, let your meal be fermented porridge. And then please do not drink milk. And that's where all the problems started for human race. Because that's the first thing we screwed up, then we screwed up the rice, then we screwed up wheat, and then the meat, and then eggs, and all this came later. So we became artificial, starting from mother's milk. What is milk then? The definition we do not know. It is a wonderful, unstable product that is delivered directly from the nipple of the mother to the mouth of the baby. Whether it is a tiger or a human or a rabbit or a rat, whatever. Rat is rodent. It doesn't do that. Mammals, that is, whale also does the same. It feeds its baby. Cow feeds its calf. So let's not cow feed our babies. That's what we have done. We have identified this cow's milk, and then we genetically modified the cow and started injecting oxytocin, estrogen, and the residue started flowing into our bodies and screwed up our metabolic system. And that's what has happened. So you want to be healthy, first thing in the morning, don't feed your babies the milk. And that is being more scientific. Now and then I have to tell you, because people are asking scientific proofs. So be scientific, you don't need proofs. So you want to be scientific, first thing you want to do is don't feed your babies